The challenge becomes change management. So it's not about getting the recipe book. It's not about reading what someone else thinks is important. It's about how do you take that in practice into your business where you have trouble controlling yourself, but even more trouble controlling your hundreds or thousands or hundreds of thousands of employees. So, you know, that is why it's difficult. I was discussing with some people yesterday the business of culture versus compliance programs. I asked you not to necessarily agree with everything I say, but I would like you to think about what I say. I am not a fan of the word compliance. The department that I've been head of is called, has compliance in it, mainly because my communication skills are insufficiently good to convince the president of the bank to change the name from compliance to integrity. A number of our competitors or collaborator multilateral development banks call their functions the Office of Institutional Integrity. I actually think that is a much more compelling title. It's much more captivating. It's much more motivating on members of staff because if you talk about integrity, you begin to touch the soul of an individual. If you talk about compliance, you're in danger of putting them to sleep. So if there's only one thing you can do following today, I would encourage you to go away and wonder if you have compliance in your job title. Think about whether you would like to keep it in your job title, and think about whether there's a case to be made for putting integrity or ethics in your job title. And I would really congratulate any of you who managed to make that shift, because I think it will make a big difference to how people will perceive the challenge, which is, at the end of the day, I think what we're all trying to get to. People are interested in their integrity. One of the things I say to my staff is, and in this Financial Times article was written that reputation risk has become as high a priority as financial risk, even if boards don't realize it. Directors increasingly have to make judgments based on the socially acceptable as well as legal and ethical to maintain the confidence of staff, investors and customers. And I like to use other people's words when I think they give more credibility to what I say, and that's for that reason that I've read that out to you. But this whole business about what is socially acceptable has, in my view, become the driver. You know, we might agree with it, we might not agree with it, but if social media goes against you, I think your company is probably on very, very weak grounds. And so everything which is built into the decisioning has got to have in mind, how does this decision fit with where we are in our business? And not only how does it fit today, but we have to anticipate how it might be seen in the future. So again, this is a task which is not easy. It's a task which requires foresight. It's not a task of looking backwards and saying, what should we have done? It's a task of saying, what do we do now? Because this is what's happening today. What are we going to do to protect ourselves for the future? And again, I would commend to you that getting the right culture and attitude is going to protect you much better for the unknown challenges of the future than a program which is all written up on your intranet and is very accessible to people, but is really probably also quite remote from them if they have to keep going to it to check what they're allowed to do and what they can't do. So what are some easy-ish things, because we have to make this difficult easy. We've got to make the person who wants to get fit, fitter. Not necessarily make them Olympic champions from what we call in England couch potatoes, but make people better and doing better and improving is, I think, the goal that we can all embrace. It's pretty hard to reach perfection. In fact, it's probably impossible. But we can all try to get better. We can all try to become more influential. We can all try to become more inspirational. And we can try to get people going with us.